Hey guys, Luke here. In today's video we're going to talk about a rear line adjustment trim bar. And so we've had a couple of comments in some other videos to give a bit of a review of how this particular bar works. And so today we're going to go through the difference between a rear line trim adjustment and the traditional front line trim adjustment, how this bar works, some of the features. We'll go through how you trim it, how we've found it. Basically, we've been riding this bar for probably 7 months now. And yeah, we're just going to go through it and show you what we think about it. So to get started, the major difference between this bar and the traditional frontline adjustment bar is simply the way that it changes the angle of attack for your kite while trimming it. So traditionally on your front lines here, you'd be pulling your trim strap or letting it out, or perhaps it's below the bar and you're pulling and letting out your trim strap here. And what that's doing is lengthening or shortening the front lines. Whereas this particular bar, what it's doing now is lengthening or shortening the back lines, and that's how we trim it. So basically it does effectively exactly the same thing, except one is lengthening and shortening the front lines to change the angle of attack, and the other one is lengthening or shortening the back lines. So the way that we do that with this bar, it has a little setup here. It's called, this particular bar is the Ocean Rodeo stick shift bar, and basically what you're doing is you're changing the line length by increments like this, clicking it that way or releasing it this way, okay? And you can see what it's doing is changing the position of the bar here with each click or back out. There's a couple of indications. That little white line shows you, so when you're riding you can still have a bit of a visual on where you are, like how the kite's trimmed at the time. So the further out that is, that's more depowered, and then the closer that becomes on that orange leader line there, that's more powered, and that about there is max powered when that spring sort of compresses like that. Now, what I've found that I really like about this setup is this very precise incremental change. And I was riding this for a few months before I just had this realization of why it's called the stick shift bar. And basically what you're doing is you're riding along and you think, oh, I need a little bit extra power, gear up, one extra gear, and then you can really feel that very subtle change that makes a big difference for your riding. Same deal for gearing down, or shifting up, which is pretty funny, but that's you really can notice it when you start toggling this. And one thing about this incremental change that I found really helpful is you can change it in a sort of a moment of need, like a really short time span. So you're riding along, you just need to quickly dump a little bit of power out, or maybe you need just a little tiny bit more power, and you can do it very quickly. So you don't sort of have to slow down, bring the kite a bit higher and start reaching forward like this, like you might have to, or even here, below the bar, I've always found you really had to rip it out to get it out of its cleat, and then you're trying to adjust it, and even then you don't get that real subtlety in movement. You're sort of trying to eye it up as you're riding, whereas this is really straightforward. You're riding along, need a little bit extra power, click, and there you've got the power. So I've really been enjoying the simplicity of this. You can see the bar itself, I really like this sort of molded shape. I find this more comfortable, but that's going to be a matter of preference really, how you like your bar to feel. It's got you can see in the bottom here, the line that's adjusting this length is actually running through here, and you can see what they've done is they've left it open, which allows you to flush it as you're entering the water. And of course, while you're riding, you hit the water a lot, if you hit the water at all, and it will self-flush the whole time. So if you're in a sandy area, just reduces some of that maintenance, where you just basically put it in the water and it flushes out, which suits me a lot because we ride in a lot of sandy areas. So you can see it's just a little bit of sand in there. So before you get riding, you dunk it in the water, and then it just removes all that sand. Next, basically it's got the below the bar swivel here. So as it's pretty simple now. You can see there's a couple of little crosses on the center lines, which just allows you to, again, you're not reaching forward. My last bar, I had to reach forward and try and unswivel that, so that makes things really easy. But one of the main reasons that I actually really like this bar is the adjustable throw length. And so this I felt was really missing from my last bar, where my last bar might have been set to sort of an area like this, and I could only throw to here. And then sometimes if I had a really overpowered gust situation, I was sort of limited to the amount of throw. Even though my arm could go longer, I couldn't dump the power out of the kite, and I always wondered why that length was so short. So I really liked being able to adjust this. You can see it's a simple adjustment. You push that grey one forward, then you can slide it up, and then that just locks it in position there now. And you can set that throw length to not only to the powered conditions or your arm length, but also your riding conditions. So in waves, particularly, sometimes you really just need to dump that power out and you need that little bit of additional throw. So I really like that feature, actually. That's something that I really enjoy about this bar. Then we've got pretty standard chicken loop setup here, just with a push away release. Okay, pretty standard stuff, except the 2018 Ocean Rodeo is actually a different, they've moved to a different design here for the safety release and the chicken loop. It's a little bit more compact, and it's got a different design here. So we should get that new bar in the next couple of months, and then we can make a review on that one as well. So all in all, look, that's how it works. Okay, it's a little more of a simplified system. When I very first got it, I didn't even know if I really needed it. I wasn't having that much trouble trimming my bar, but now that I've been riding on it, I just can see how much easier it is. Like I have no reason to go back for these extra benefits of just being able to quickly trim very, very easily, and also that adjustable throw, the below the bar swivel. It's just made piloting the kite a lot easier, and so I've been loving that. So look, that's a bit of a review, guys. Let us know if you have any other questions that you're wondering about this particular bar. Leave them in the comments and we'll get back to you. Thanks again for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.